Welcome to the Sabrprints 2A show. Thank you for having me today. We're going to be doing a reaction to a video about this mechanic. I guess he works on diesel trucks that ended up getting in trouble because he ordered oil filters. So Homeland Security ended up coming to his house. Let's watch it. I'm going to have a reaction and I'm going to try to explain why I think, yes, my personal opinion, that this guy ended getting Homeland Security at his house. All right, let's start.
I think I can do something for you.
So this is where he's showing the Ring camera, and I guess he had a, hide the faces and the voices so he doesn't get in trouble.
Is everything okay?
But we don't tune, man. That's one thing we don't do.
We don't tune, man.
All right. Earl. Hey, man. What, man? I'm on the phone. Hey, police are here for you. What? The what's here?
What?
Oh, man, I gotta go. Earl, where you going? No, man, I can't stick around for this one. No, you're on your own. Okay, so you're not here?
You're not here?
All right, I'll go tell him.
Yeah, guys are
I'll
cool,
let you
man.
guys know right now, Homeland Security and a state police officer came to my house today, and they had some questions. So first of all, I have nothing to hide whatsoever on this one right here, so this is good. And I'm 100% sure that they are watching this video because they know I have a YouTube channel, and that's fine. So I figured I'd explain this to you guys because I would hate to see you guys end up in this same position. I ordered some sights for a super soaker and a few other miscellaneous items for that, and I ordered a ton of diesel filters. Sure, a lot of you guys watched that YouTube video. If you haven't, make sure you guys check it out. A couple videos before this one right here. Much what happened was
So
the
this
wife
is
and
a
I would
video
install
that I
brand new
was talking
filters on our
about when I
fast
did
lift
the
pump on the
interview with
LPZ
Guns
Duramax,
from the Grave.
and
If
I
you
ordered a
haven't checked
ton
it
of
out,
filters
check
because
that
I
out.
wanted to show you guys
That's on the
some of the differences.
podcast playlist.
Donaldson, good brand, and of course Caterpillar
At
ordered
Sabrprints
a bunch of
2A.
filters. So, and I have a lot of them in the garage. I ordered a lot of filters. Off camera, I do a lot of maintenance on other people's vehicles. If they want to drop it off, I'll fix them for them, stuff like that. So I order a lot of diesel parts. So I don't really have to post this video, but since it's truck related,
Sorry, it's my
and it's
first
sort of a
time
heads
with
up,
this
especially for
setup,
some
so
of you
hopefully,
DIYers
you
that
guys
order
can
parts
actually hear me better and
in
the
your
mic
garage. So this is what
better.
happened. The police knocked on the door, immediately greeted by a special agent from Homeland Security, all the way from Detroit, believe it or not. He gave me his business card.
That's so weird,
That was pretty
right?
interesting. They drove
And
all the way
it's
up
Homeland
here. He had this
Security, guys. It's
gigantic
not
clipboard.
ATF.
This thing was huge.
Just
This clipboard had a bunch of papers in it, so
why?
I had no idea
You know
what was
what I
going on.
mean?
I figured he was
Weird.
going to knock on the door and ask me who does burnouts on this road, or maybe there was a crime that may have happened in this area. He's just questioning neighbors, something like that. I had no idea that it was for me exactly. So he whipped out the clipboard and he basically said, so there's been a lot of AliExpress, eBay packages being dropped off here at this house.
That's
and then he was
crazy.
going on
And
to
they
say
had,
that
like,
I ordered a bunch
they
of
had that file
suppressors for a...
on him.
I don't know how to say this without the YouTube video going down, but for we'll just say a super soaker. He
You
really
see
didn't want an
that,
explanation.
like,
He just
had a
wanted me
whole
to give
file
them
on
back
this
to them.
man.
And I don't really know exactly what that means, but there's nothing for me to give back to them because it was something that I never purchased. I never purchased a suppressor for. I know exactly what a suppressor is. So at this point, I'm a little confused.
I'm gonna stop it right there because I got something to say. So this man, he purchases parts with his hard-earned money that he works for, correct? And they came like I think a sheriff and Homeland Security guy came all the way from Detroit to check on this guy. And the first thing they ask him, they don't let him know why we're here. I don't think he said that, right? We know you have all these parts. They have a file folder. Remember that. And they tell him, could you give us back that stuff? What? Like, he paid for it with his money. Nah, and you haven't even. So they, from the jump, they're not even thinking. They're not even thinking. Well, maybe this guy's innocent. Let's go ask. But they're not doing no detective work right away. Because of his history, they're saying this guy's guilty, and not just his history. You'll understand a little bit more as we get deeper into this video. But this guy was targeted for a reason.
Confused. So I told the officer, look, I've never ordered a suppressor on the internet. on eBay, anywhere. I've never ordered that whatsoever. So he pulled out his clipboard and he showed me a record of things that I've purchased on the internet. And one being, I think there was 3 or 4 different items of diesel filters. And I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. So I'm in my front yard now. I'm standing in my garage right now. And I told the police officers, I said, hey, do you have a minute? Do you mind? I'll get my shoes on. We'll go around the corner and I'll show you pretty much what I do, for a hobby. And they're like, yeah, sure. So I put my shoes on.
Also, he shouldn't have ever done that. I know he says he doesn't fear anything. He doesn't have anything to hide. But if they don't have a warrant, I don't know if they did have a warrant. I don't know. I didn't hear him say it. You shouldn't invite him over to your house. You think the police is there to help you, but it's not the police. This is Homeland Security. They're thinking that this man might be a lone wolf, a terrorist. So say they were wanting to catch somebody. This man tries to show them stuff. We're going to get to a part why I'm saying this, and you'll see why. Let me start this again.
Went outside. They came in the garage. I have 2 diesel trucks in here, and of course I have parts all over the place. I have parts, on the ground. I have on my shelf back here for stock. I have a bunch of parts in my garage. That's what I do. It's my thing. It's actually part of what I do for a living as well, and it's a hobby. So right when they walked in, they immediately noticed, oh, okay, all right, this guy may be legit. They were looking at the trucks. They thought they were pretty cool, and I was explaining, what I do. And I also went on to explain that I retired from the United States Army a couple years ago. He asked me what I did in the military. I said I was a truck driver, and I served in an infantry battalion. That was my last assignment at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. So then the officer was like, well, of course, you probably know a whole lot about weapons then.
You see? That's why I believe they also targeted him. They already knew that this guy served, right? So they started playing like we're friends. Oh, your truck is so nice, blah, 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 asking him questions. They already had his whole file. So they knew where he came from, who he was, if he had ran a red light, if he had sold gun from a store. They already knew. As soon as they knocked at that door, they knew this man's whole life before they got there. And this is what I was telling at Guns from the Grave. This is like Minority Report. That's the name of the movie, where you're not even going to commit the act or a crime. But just because they have a machine that says that you have the probability of committing that crime, it's going to happen. And they were using these kids, right? And this filter water or whatever. But in reality, what they were trying to show in that movie is that it's an algorithm. Every time we allow, we go on a website and we allow certain cookies. Every time we don't search things privately, they're collecting metadata, pieces of data, and they're throwing it in this software they created. And it's saying, okay, these are the characteristics for a lone wolf. These are characteristics for hate, and so on and so on. And he ended up popping up on a list. And you think they're going to take him off that list? Nah, they're not. So that's why I was saying, like, they knew. And
And I'm like, absolutely, duh, It was actually kind of silly because he was looking at the filters. I walked in the garage and I showed him the filters that I ordered. And in the video, guys, I'm sure you guys remember this. This thing right here is cut open. And if you slide it up, of course, it's just a filter. And we talked about the inside of a cat filter, the differences between that and, of course, a fast filter where they have.
And that's why I was saying, if they did not have a search warrant, once again, I am not a police officer or I don't know about law, This is just from experience of people in the past that I've hung out with, that this has happened to them, especially from being a minority. I have more police contact than normal, especially in the area I live at. You never allow them to come into a property if they don't have a search warrant. Because if they really wanted to catch this guy, if this guy might have had a very weird, I think he was probably like medium level, because there was only one officer and one Homeland Security. If he would have been like high alert, it would have been different. They would have been watching them. It would have been more people. If they really wanted to get a case against him, he would have gotten that confiscated, that would have given them probable cause to get a search warrant, because they would have said, hey, why is he opening these filters? Even if he showed them the diesel truck stuff and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Same thing happened with CRS, you know? Also support him, help him any way you can. They didn't catch him with anything whatsoever. What happened with him is that they didn't like the way he spoke about the government and the type of videos he was making for the people. So let's continue watching.
Have like a metal tube in there, and it may release metal contaminants into your fuel injection, and that's why it's better to go with cat. And that's pretty much the gist of that, but it did look a little suspect that I had a filter that was open like that. So I did a bunch of research when they left, and apparently this is a very recent thing that's going on, and I didn't know about this, but people are modifying oil filters on the ends of their weapons in order to silence them. So they're essentially making oil filters silencers. I guess there's a big sting right now going on, and I guess I hit that list. But this is where it gets very interesting, and I started kind of thinking about, why would they come to my house? I live in the middle of nowhere, and they want to question me about what I buy on the internet. First off, I have nothing to hide on that because I've never done that before, but and not only that, it's actually legal to own a silencer if you do it correctly, but people aren't. I guess apparently they're buying these things, on the market, and they're listing them as oil filters. Some of that's being disguised. So I did a whole bunch of research, and actually this is going on in the state of Michigan. Had no clue whatsoever. So I guess I was on their hit list, and they had to go out and investigate. Now, I'm not 100% sure if I'm still under questioning, because I didn't really feel a good sense of this is closed or anything like that. I don't know exactly what's going to happen after that. If you're in law enforcement, let me know in the comments.
So you see what he said? He said to himself, he lives in the middle of nowhere, you know? That's why they went after him. He was in the list. He's an I think Army. He's in the military pretty much, an ex-military member. He was an infantry. So right away they thought like, hey, maybe this guy came back, a veteran in distress, doesn't, So that's my reason. He was like, he has time to do whatever he wants. I bet you where he lives, the neighbors are really far apart. That's why they went for him. So it kind of sucks that they're going for people that actually serve our country. But the reason is that they know what they did to these men. They know how they treated our vets. It's the truth. I'll stop there.
Hear me out. This is really crazy, because about 3 weeks ago, I was on, I think it was Facebook or Instagram, I can't remember, but I actually saw an ad online about suppressors. Okay, here, this is crazy. And I was like, that's interesting, huh? You can buy them on the internet. So I went on eBay and I looked it up. They sell them for like $30. And then I'm thinking, okay, hang on. That's got to be a waste of money. That probably doesn't work. Not only that, it's probably a huge safety issue too. Buying something cheap for your weapon, and thing explodes on the end of the barrel. $30, you can actually pick one of these things up. Interesting. So I went on YouTube because I'm curious to see if they even do anything, if they're even quiet, which I doubt. So watched a couple videos. My suspicion was 100% correct. They do nothing. They don't quiet your weapon down one bit. So that was some of my research on the internet that I found, but that was like 3 weeks ago. And then I go online and I buy some of these things right here, and I buy a bunch of these. They're tracking literally everything that you're buying on the internet, and they're tracking what you're watching on the internet via YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I came to the conclusion that it's got to be some sort of computer that finds this data from individuals, and you get flagged, and then that's what I'm thinking. I don't know 100% sure, but that's what I'm thinking. It only makes sense. There's no way that you can completely check every single person and what they buy and what they purchase. But this is a heads up to you guys. Seriously, heads up. These are hot right now. I don't know about these, but apparently buying oil filters, fuel filters, maybe don't purchase them off eBay. Or buy them overseas from China. Maybe that's another one right there. Yeah, we were kind of talking about my diesel trucks here in the garage. I have my LB7 Duramax. Of course, this thing's going to be pretty modified when I'm done with it. Hoping to get one day 800 horsepower out of this bad boy. We'll see. But he, as they were leaving the state.
I wonder how he feels now with gas prices so high and diesel fuel also high. Like, You know, I don't know. I'm just saying that kind of sucks. That didn't age well.
State police officer
Thank
sort of
you,
joked in a way
Biden.
and walked away and said, well, you know, next time the EPA's out. That was mentioned in our conversation. For some of you guys that are watching my community page on YouTube, I don't know if you know if that's a thing or not. I didn't really know either, but I can post pictures and stuff like that. You guys can comment on them, things like that. But I did post a picture on that community page, and I said I'm sort of under investigation. I didn't know exactly what kind of angle I wanted to approach this one. Posting it on the internet, especially on my channel, because these guys already know I have a YouTube channel, so they're watching me. It wasn't a video that I really wanted to post and air out some of my laundry, what's going on in my personal life, but I figured since it's truck related, and it's something that if you guys are actually purchasing things on the internet like me constantly, you know, for stuff like this, you know, working on trucks, stuff like that, it may be worth your time. You just be careful is kind of where I'm getting at. Now, I know we're living in some crazy times right now. I respect the police. So in conclusion, I ordered a bunch of parts for my Super Soaker, and I also ordered a bunch of filters. And of course, you can either modify filters to make suppressors or silencers for your weapon, which is illegal, or it's titled in a description saying that they're oil filters or fuel filters when they're actually silencers or suppressors. So in my opinion, that's what triggered them to come and see me so they can actually do an investigation and figure out what's going on. But if you're that guy, just don't put two and two together. If you're going to order stuff like that, just order it directly from their website. Don't order it from a third party or eBay or Amazon, AliExpress, or China websites, or whatever the case is. Just don't order that stuff from there.
At least
Everything
giving
else
you guys
is fine,
pointers.
but I would just be careful. I'm just looking out for you guys. Seriously, I promise. I hope this helped. Yes, that is my story. I figured I'd fill you in. It's kind of long, so that's why I would rather make a YouTube video about it instead of explaining to you guys in the comments what's actually going on. I am not 100% sure if this is completely over with. I wasn't really told that. They just pretty much left. I don't know. I will definitely keep you guys informed if something does come about, if they come back up here. Hey, before I end this video right now, I do appreciate all the support with
So yeah, that's the video. I'm gonna link his stuff in the description. That way you guys could check it out if you guys like trucks, especially diesel trucks. And also, yeah, just go check out his stuff. I think he has another video where he speaks about the outcome. I'll try making a review on that one if you guys like this one. But yeah, like I was saying, I think that's the reason he got targeted, to be honest, because he was ex-military. And he was in the infantry, and he was in the middle of nowhere. It's funny how he says Super Soaker. It makes me laugh. And then it's cool that he's giving us a heads up. I mean, giving you guys a heads up, not me, because I can't even change an oil filter at all. So I'm not good with my hands. Everything I do is for entertainment. Nah, but you know what I mean, guys? Also, I'm gonna put a video that Guns from the Grave sent me. We spoke about this in the podcast about the guy doing the review. It's so hilarious. As a matter of fact, let me see if I could pull it up, and then I'll do that one as well. Okay, so I found it. He sent it to me on Instagram. So I'm going to try to get the video downloaded and then put it here so you guys could watch it. But I'll let you guys hear it. It's hilarious.
You know, those things that are definitely not suppressors. Even though they look just like suppressors, they have baffles like suppressors, they're often rated for diameters like suppressors, and they screw on threaded barrels like suppressors. Well, but they're still not suppressors because they don't have a hole in the other end, so you can legally own one without going through the paperwork to own a suppressor, because it isn't one.
It's been machined, notched, it has a different shape to it.
It should be able to handle 9mm, 22, maybe even subsonic 300 black, 5.56.
But it's not a suppressor. Yeah. So it's just funny to me, you know, how they keep saying the things that are not in the, and then the guy comes up talking that should be able to handle this and that. Like, I don't know if that's like the biggest thing to me, or if you go on this shop, you're totally going on a list. Not just one, two, ATF, Homeland Security. For reals. And your local police department. That's 3 lists. You don't want to be in 3 lists. being on one is hard enough. Trust me. I know. No, I'm joking. But yeah, thank you for watching. Once again, like, subscribe, and comment, please. Also, check out if you haven't seen the Guns from the Grave interview, check that out. I also have a new podcast that's with Young and Tactical, aka Trent. It's an awesome podcast for reals. I think he was so young, and realizing his age kind of really got me, because my son would have been the same age as him. My son would have turned 18 on the 20th of February last month. So it was a good podcast. Hopefully you guys like it and enjoy it. Check it out. And thank you once again. Have a great day.